wanna be in your life until the night is over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride. Go hold you for a night. So tight, coming closer. So tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride. Go home, whatever I decide. Yeah, I find the one. I gave you what you need. I know what you like. I feel it for me. Time is up to yesterday. I try to need you, but I need some lessons. I need to give it all. I got to live what I got. I don't know why you're the one. Turn me out of my mind. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. I don't want nobody. Now everybody go to breakfast. Choco bound for the result, though. Nothing to discuss, cause I'm the one by default and without any doubt, though. I'm a me happy adult, though. I no go feed the girl, I no go feed the girl, it's out, though. I'm a mind that's you the talk, though. I put my life into my job and I know I'm in trouble. She manipulate my love, oh. I know holy, and I know that they're both. Like the Baba cry, oh, my oh, don't cry, oh. And if you go and shadow, 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 and if you go and I did what I got when they kill Sovoma. I did try to buy moto, Toyota Corolla. My feelings been they swing like Django Lover. Feelings been they swing like Django Lover. Now you crash your Ferrari for like Ibona. Now so much you make with that pain all over. My feelings still they swing like Django Lover. Feelings still they swing like Timbani at you. Come on, white dog in Fendi suit. Why you say I did nothing for you? And if I do anything you want me to do, Timbani at you. Come on, white dog in Fendi suit. Why you you say I did nothing for you, and if I do anything you want me to do, maybe another time, maybe another life, you will be my wife and we'll get it right. Young last. Now everybody go chop breakfast. Have to say bye bye yo, to the love of my life, my ayo. Don't cry yo, I need people and shadow, 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 another banger. Make a call, make a bong, make a call, make a sleep, but the bong, your body, kakara, make a bong, on a make it. Kilo fat, I'm a dead jugger there, fine, oh, bucket there, watch your love for like it, why not more there, your body, chakara, go share it, yeah, in my day, the bando, see, kilo fat, why now, my lady, tell me where you there, body, I'm a time, easy, baby, why you wanna give me control, if you want to get out, I'ma make up my eye. I'ma need that can you. I go my eye. I'ma need that can you. Maybe, do maybe. I don't want it there. Do maybe. Maybe don't go carry belly. Maybe. Let one of me see yeah. See yeah, baby. Make a bomb, make a bomb, make a bomb, make a keep a tick bomb, your body, make a bomb, and I make it them get a bomb, fine, girl. Look it over there, do fine boy like this. So if I hear you want, I go there. Okini navia, okini baby, okini baby, plenty money, okini navia, okini baby, okini baby, plenty money, don't get my giveaway, where your motor, Messi agbe, oh yeah, palanga money, joya, shade joya. Sexy mama, follow me, come on,
I need you in the morning, but I need to know. Yeah, I find why I give you what you need. I know what you like. I feel it coming. Tell me something yesterday. I try to need you, but I need some lessons. I need to get better. I got to live what I got. I don't know why I don't want. Turn me out of my mind. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. You don't need no other body. Said I need the mess of my mind. And I need to make you free of my mind. Say your body talk to me nice. Say now my love you didn't need for the love. Yeah, our love no be like. Say every day together, yeah, day and night. Yeah, if I leave you quiet. Yeah, if you leave, I'm struggling your body, baby. Loving your body, baby. As you're whining your body, baby. So crazy. Loving your body, baby. Girl, you are leading me. I just wanna let you know. Oh, baby, you don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. You don't need no other body. Hey, baby, everybody saying no one loves you like that. No one wants you the same way. Up till the morning, my one to come from your loving. I just wanna get you beside me. Give me all you need, 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 give me all, make I give you all you need, every touch you need, give you all, make I give you all you need, baby, yeah. You don't need no other body, you don't need no other.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, there we go. There we go. My mic wasn't working, y'all. I was going in, but my mic wasn't even working. I was wondering what the issue is. Nobody wasn't hearing me. But what's up with it, y'all? Welcome to the Al Jaheez podcast with your boy Gullah Jabiri. I'm gonna start from the top. Uh, you know, right on for rocking with me tonight. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the views. What's good, my brother Cuban in the building. Showing some love. My Cuban, my Cubano brother. What's good with it, bro? Ashe. We're gonna get it in, man. The topic tonight. Really gonna be talking about the spread of agriculture in Central Africa, which is the prequel to the Bantu expansion, and also we're gonna get into a little bit about the Ubangian or the Adamawa Ubangian expansion too, which went into Central Africa around that same time period as the Bantu expansion, but they didn't go as deep or as far or traveled as far as the Bantu expansion. This show is kind of like a segue to a bigger series. I'm gonna break down the different phases of the Bantu expansions. Good with it, y'all. I'm gonna go into I'm gonna break down like the different phases of the expansions. Break down the different phases. And one of the books I'm gonna be working out of course tonight we're gonna be using my favorite book, you know what I'm saying, which is a very good book for us, the African migrations or human migrations throughout Africa. He lays down a pretty good foundation for us and that is the Christopher Area book, Civilizations of Africa. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, there we go. And even this book right here, I'm gonna be using this book throughout the course of this series. This is an intro to the series. This is Bantu Africa. This is an Oxford print, and this is Bantu Africa 3500 BCE to present. And Arid is also the book that I use that I'm using tonight. Tonight, particularly, I'm gonna use that book too. Probably have to either find a digital copy or like I'll have to take pictures of some of the maps in this book. Because this Bantu Oxford book actually had like the 5 phases. They break it down in 5 phases of how the Bantu migrations happen and how that how it ran its course throughout history. And also, I'm gonna show some of the sources I got from the Christopher Area book, African Civilizations of Africa, a history to 1800 BCE. I mean, not BCE, but 1800 CE. He go all the way to 1800 CE in his book. But I'm also going to go back into the Adomawa, not Adomawa, I'm sorry, the Beni Quay people. And that's where I'm going to start as the prequel because I'm going to have to start with the Beni Quay people. I kind of touched on the Beni Quay people in another show. Kind of give you an introduction to feel. I'm gonna go back and do an overview on that to get people familiar where I was talking about the word relate to this particular prequel to the Bantu expansion, because the Bantus are a subgroup of a subgroup of a subgroup of the Beni Quay, or we can call them Beni Congo. Or sometimes people anthropologists or even linguists, they'll break it down to where Beni Congo is the eastern Beni Quay branches. You know what I'm saying? Bantu come out of that family. And then you have the western Beni Quay or western Beni Congo, which is the family that makes up that Yoruba, Igbo, Idoi, and a lot of the other, you know what I'm saying, even Akan, you know what I'm saying, a lot of those languages of those southern southwestern West Africa, a lot of those different groups come out of. these cultures that had a lot to do with the planting agriculture in Western Central Africa, for as yam agriculture, palm oil. Even though these Niger Congo people originally they all come from savanna regions further north, and they spread it out, you know what I'm saying, throughout the middle of the Haliocene period as the more northern woodland savannas or even the Green Sahara started to become more desertous. This culture started to spread. Even before the desertification, they were spread it out. You know what I'm saying? And they had a range, a culture. You know what I'm saying? Starting all the way from Central Sahara all the way to the humid, what they call the West African humid belt, which straddles, you know what I'm saying, the rainforests. But originally, these Niger Congo people would be savanna woodland people. And even though when they started to come into West Africa around 12,000 years ago, some say 12,000 years ago, some people postulated to 18,000 years ago, starting. But I believe they started probably to settle slowly around 12,000 years ago. Intermixing with these West African hunter gatherers that were already there, who they were already mixed with some type of ghost population or cave humans that were there already. And then these Niger Congo speakers started to migrate in from the Western Sudan during the wet phase, slowly though, but starting at the Haliocene period, bringing in they were foragers, but they were bringing in a type of a different technique of foraging, which was kind of already on the verge of agriculture, which Christopher Eric called pre-agricultural beginnings. Peace, Pure Black TV. What up, bro? Yeah, we're finna get into it. I'm gonna get my source real quick, y'all. Real quick. Share my screen. Here we go. Subject for the night. Spread of agriculture into Central Africa, peoples and crops. But I'm gonna go back. We're gonna come back to this page. It's the main subject of the night, but I'm gonna go back to refreshing y'all on the Benue people and kind of segue into this. They talk about the Benue people in the beginning, but they come about the Eastern. But I'm just talking about them in general. We go to table of content. Let me go back to this. Y'all remember we did the early Niger Congo populations in society. I got a channel about that. Y'all check that out too. Like and subscribe. It's good with it, Dr. Bantu. Dr. Bantu, you welcome her as long as it's peaceful, man. As long as it's all respect. You hear me? Let me see. Environmental agricultural invention. This one I'm going back to agricultural inventions in Niger Congo peoples in West Africa real quick, just to give y'all a overview or kind of like a refresher on the Benue people who when I brought them up earlier. Go through this. They kind of talking about the West African grain collecting culture that came in with rice. Originally a lot of us early Niger Congo speak, our ancestors, they were grain collectors, but they didn't collect just any grain. They collected wild grains of rice, like rice type grains, boiled them whole. That's why we came up with a lot of the pottery early during our early foraging history. right here. Let me see. Even right here it say new directions, West African planting agriculture, 5500 to 3500 BCE. And we know the Bantu expansion starts where this ends at. So around 5500 BCE, these Niger Congo speakers started to migrate or introduce certain economies into more tropical or more wetter areas. So some stuff they brought from the more savanna regions, the more northern savanna regions, and they introduced it there, like black eyed peas or cowpeas originally, or a savanna or a Saharian wet phase crop that they brought with them. Some rices didn't come. Some of the rices just stayed within the Sahel or savanna regions, and they also during those areas they started to invent a planting agriculture dealing with yams. Okay, and so right here it say second transformation period in the history of the Niger Congo economies began around the 6th and 5th millennium BCE. And what I mean by a second transformation is, remember earlier in this particular article, because I'm going back, they talked about the grain collecting and how eventually they became more domestic type of thing in the pottery. It's like that. That was a change in itself in their culture, because they already were hunter-gatherer people, come from the Onanian culture, which is known for their spirit tips or whatever in the Green Sahara, and in the South Central Green Sahara, that's very important. Got to be particular what area these people were in the Green Sahara, because you can find some of them. You can find some of the images even in southern Nigeria, where you find the round head cave war. Not just any cave war, but the round head cave war in particular. You know what I'm saying? Represent these Niger Congo people. You see the mask, you see them dancing, you know what I'm saying, and all that. Because it's different type of Saharan cave war. You know what I'm saying? Different ones, different cultures. You can tell, like, even like when you do the Amazigh or the North Africans, their art is different. Their art in Sahara is different. Okay, hold on. Different ones, different culture. Okay, let me keep building. Okay, a second transformative period in the history of Niger Congo economies began around the 6th and 5th millennium BCE. The early expansions of the Niger Congo people took place across more open savanna zones in keeping with the possibilities of this kind of climatic zone. The first changes leading toward farming among the early Niger Congo societies would have focused on utilization of grains such as fonio, like I was saying, and other plants that introduced by seed. See, originally they were utilizing wild grains. You know what I'm saying, like fonio, wild rices, and things of that nature. And they say, but along the southern edges of this zone, let me go to the top. Let me say that again for people to follow. Niger Congo peoples took place across more open savanna zones in keeping with the possibility of this kind of climatic zone. The first changes leading toward farming among the early Niger Congo societies would have focused on the utilization of grains, such as fonio and other plants that introduced by seed. But along the southern edges of this zone, The southern edges of this zone is they have a range. This culture have a range where they go into these southern areas where these people, stretch out to these southern areas. Early Niger-Congo settlement overlapped into the transition zones from drier, more open savannas to wetter woodland savanna environments. So we transitioned into these more, tropical regions. Even though we still tropical humans anyway, even in those savanna zones, dry savanna zones, it was still a little bit more tropical than other areas. But we went into even more wetter zones and tropical zones. Because remember, the main component for West Africans, you got the ghost population and all that stuff. That's the West African hunter-gatherers and all that. People that's more related to like pygmies or whatever, and archaic humans that was there. But the Niger-Congo speaker component, which is the main component of West Central Africa, come from the east, come from Western Sudan, from the Sudanic region. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere probably in between Chad and somewhere in like the most western Nile basin, which they used to call the Yellow Nile. But you still today will find an old split branch of Niger Congo, which is the Niger Kaddofian family, which is still in Sudan today, which is it's a minority there, but it's still there. It gets overlapped by other Nilo-Saharan languages. Oh yeah, somewhere around Darfur, you know what I'm saying, somewhere around those regions like that. Because even here, I'm gonna come back to this real quick. Let me show you what Dr. Banu, because he just said something real quick. Let me just give him an example of what I was talking about. Then I'm gonna get back on the frame. Let me see. For agriculture, world gathering. Go down here. Yeah, right here. Show you exactly what I'm talking about. See right here. It say the early Niger Kaddofians, which is it's the ancestors of Niger Congo people. The early Niger Kaddofian people would have inhabited regions west of the Nile, in the west of the early Nilo-Saharians. Their lands probably included the Nuba Mountains and the areas extending south and west from there across the southwestern parts of the Nile Basin. Virtually no archaeological information exists at all yet for this region of Africa for any period of human history whatsoever. So the early history of Niger Kaddofian people is as yet a blank page, because this is all postulated, so this is possible. We know they come from the east, because it's all based on these Niger Kaddofian people being there. Like these people there, so it's kind of postulating it based on that. And certain other evidences as well too. There's other stuff that's been found since this book was written in 2016. And there's a lot of more information that was put out after that. And they say the early speakers of Niger Congo branch moved out this Niger Kaddofian family divides into two primary branches. Niger Congo and Kaddofian. Kaddofian is still in Sudan. The early speakers of the Niger Congo branch moved out this region, establishing themselves far to the west in Africa in between about 12,000 and 9,500 BCE. Scholars know a great deal about their civilization and history since 9500 BCE, and the beginning of that story will be major theme of chapter 3. That's what we're talking about in chapter 3. Niger-Godolphian branch today consists of a small but linguistically diverse set of peoples who have resided for thousands of years in and around the Nuba Mountains. How the Godolphian societies fit into the wider frame of African history will be an interesting problem for the future historians, archaeologists to consider. And they still working this out. I got more updated information than this book do about that information. So it's in the works. So let me get back to what's good with a guy killing the building. Got a fam in the building. What's up with it, y'all? Now, let me get back to agriculture invention in Niger Congo to get this the refresher. But introducing the Beni Quay people. And as we read right here, new directions, West African planting agriculture, 5500 to 3500 BCE. We talk about how they originally utilized grains and rices. That's a cultural identifier too. Like Niger Congo people, we didn't grind our grains like Afro-Asiatic people did. And then, Nile Saharians, they collected grains too. They collected zircon, wild zircon before it was domesticated. But they adopted the grain grinding practice from the early Afro-Asiatic people. And they started grinding their grains, turning into porridge. The Afro-Asiatics, they grind their grains and they turn it into flatbreads and shit like that. But the Niger Congo people coming from the Western Sudan, when we collected our wild grains, when we used that pottery, they found that original pottery that's in West Africa, that you find in around the Mali and Onjogo area. That pottery was used for boiling. So we boiled our grains whole. That's why in West African culture, you find a lot of rice dishes. And that goes back to that, you know what I'm saying? That these big pots, you know what I'm saying, that was used by pyrotechnology. And even because of those pots and that pyrotechnology, that's where the iron come in at. But we're gonna get into that. That's another subject. We're gonna get into this subject after we talk about this Bantu migration. Because the iron also is the big controversy thing within this Bantu migration too. A lot of people assume that the Bantus had iron during that migration, but they didn't. They didn't get iron until they hit those lake regions. But it did start among Niger Congo people, but just not the Bantu people at that time period. We're gonna get into it's a complicated subject matter, you know what I'm saying, that I had to it's complex. I ain't gonna say it's complicated, it's not complicated, but it's complex. It's a complex situation. And we bring this book also breaks it down too. It talks about it, you know what I'm saying? People used to assume. But we did bring these polished stone axes. You know what I'm saying? We use those to cut down, you know what I'm saying, the forest areas, and we use that, you know what I'm saying, to clear out, you know what I'm saying, forestry for agriculture, you know what I'm saying, to spread it out to plant our plants. And it say but along, I'm gonna go to the top. A second transformative period in the history of Niger Congo economies began around the 6th to 5th millennium BCE. The early expansions of the Niger Congo people took place across more open savanna zones. In keeping Keeping with the possibilities of this kind of climatic zone, the first changes leading toward forming among early Niger-Congo societies would have focused on the utilization of grains, such as fonio and other plants that reproduce by seed. But along the southern edges of this zone, early Niger-Congo settlements overlapped into transition zones from drier to more open savannas to wetter woodland savanna environments. These environments harbored potentially valuable food plants not found in drier savannas, mostly notable guinea yams and oil palms. This, this species of yam, not to be confused with the quite different plant in the American sweet potato, which is sometimes colloquially called a yam, but that was by us. We called the sweet potato a yam when we came over from slavery because we thought it was the yams that from Africa. We assumed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is like the West African plant, so we thought it was a yam. That's why in America the sweet potato, which is actually not a yam, is called a yam because African Americans called it a yam because they thought it was the food from their original homeland. And it say can provide large amount of carbohydrate calories for the diet from its large underground tumors. And its leaves can be used as greens. See, like greens, like collard greens. Like we got that boiling the greens down. You know, so even though it wasn't particularly collard greens, species collard greens, because collard greens are from Greece, you know what I'm saying, brought to the United States. But when we seen that, we saw that that's similar to what we do with the yam leaves. You know what I'm saying? We gonna use them, we're gonna boil them down. And it say, and its leaves can be used as greens. The tumors, the nuts of the oil palm were an important source of cooking oil. You frying it. You know what I'm saying? And palm wine was made from its sap. And they say around the 6th and 5th millennium BCE, in a particular Niger-Congo society, the Proto-Benique, that's why I'm talking about going to the Benique, because I told you the Bantu or a subgroup of a subgroup of a subgroup of the Benique people. Or, you know what I'm saying, they come from the branch of the Eastern Benique or the East, which is also called the Beni Congo. The Proto-Benique began to take advantage of the possibilities of these crops, what the crops allowed. They adopted the cultivating of yams rather than grains as the staples of the diet, and along with the tending of oil palms. They added a new technology, the fashioning of ground and polished stone tools. Polished stone tools. That's a whole new technology. That's like for a Stone Age culture, a polished stone tool. That's like it ain't crude. You know what I'm saying? That's like top level. You know what I'm saying? Stone usage. You know what I'm saying? That's like having for a Stone Age shit. That's like having a Glock on you. You know what I'm saying? That's a polished stone tool. We just regular. You know what I'm saying? They added a new technology, the fashioning of ground and polished stone tools to their early West African macrolith tool tradition. By making yams their new staple, the Proto-Benique and their early descendants communities constellated their abilities and to master and expand far into higher rainfall woodland savanna environments. The farmers introduced yams not from seed, but from the shoots planted back into the ground. Like they took the whole shoot. Like you could take, like they ain't have to use seeds. You could take a stock or a shoot of that plant, plant it in the ground and it'll grow. You know what I'm saying, like that, or just take pieces of the shoots and plant it like that. That's planting agriculture. It's not grain agriculture. This is planting agriculture, where you have the grains and tumors and roots, like carrots or you know what I'm saying. For this one example, like these vegetable, tumor underground vegetable, or these root vegetables like beets, just for example, carrots, for example, or potatoes. You know what I'm saying, yams. You know what I'm saying. Those are tumors. Uh, the farmers introduced the farmers reproduce yams not from seed but from shoots planted back into the ground. Even though they had subsidiary crops grown from the seed, so they still had some of the subsidiary crops from the more northern savannas that these cultures carried down from generations or traditions. They still had some of them other crops. For this reason, we can call this new farming adaptation West African planting agriculture. So they adopted a new form of agriculture, and they also still brought some of their grain farming or whole grain farming, you know what I'm saying, with them. For us, like I told y'all, cowpeas, which is black eyed peas. That's a savanna, a more drier savanna crop. And they bring in some of that into these wet savanna areas, and they're adopting new ideas and new crops along the way. And they say the Beni Quay farming communities in West African forests come from sites in the modern day countries of Ghana and Benin. Stone axes allowed the early Beni Quay people not just to better exploit high rainfall woodland savanna, but to expand their lands further south into the West African rainforest inland from the Atlantic coast. The Guinea yam, and even more so, oil palm, required the higher rainfall of the woodland savannas, and both can thrive in the still higher rainfall of the rainforest, but they also require direct sunlight to mature. Polished, polished and groundstone axes gave early Benique people the ability to cut clearings into the deep forest, essential to providing the necessary sunlight for the rising for the raising both yam and palm oil. So they had to cut them trees down to let enough sunlight in. You know what I'm saying? Because they need a lot of sunlight. They can grow in tropical rainforests or whatever, but they need those little landing where like those little patches of land where you see grasslands in the forest. They need to be growing in those regions. Or you have a forest, you have like a clearing of of woods, where it's like you have woods, we have a clearing where it's like a patch of grassland, and then the forest continues. Even sometimes you have those areas that happen naturally, and that's originally where those yams and those palm oils usually grow naturally. What I'm saying, those type of regions when they were wild, but to manipulate it, once the Niger Congo people, what I'm saying, adopted these plants, they started to manipulate, what I'm saying, forests to be like that, cutting down with those polished stone axes so they can grow or cultivate these particular crops. Okay. Okay. I was seeing what was in the chat. But okay, let me see. Okay, I heard between 5,000 and 3500 BCE, as a result of adopting the new crops and the new technology, the descendant societies of the early Benique scattered out through the woodland savanna and the rainforest environments from the eastern Ivory Coast to the southern Cameroon. We know who these people are, you know what I'm saying? These are Bantu, these are the Yoruba, these are the Khan, these are the Aja, you know what I'm saying? These various different southern, southern Niger Congo groups. You know what I'm saying? In these more southern regions of West Africa. And they say incorporating, I'll say, they were from Ivory Coast to southern Cameroon, incorporating the various gatherer-hunter inhabitants of those regions into their societies. And say incorporating the previous gatherer-hunter inhabitants of those regions into their society. Those are the West African hunter-gatherers. And the, people that were, or some of the people that the small people of the forest. And all of them wasn't necessarily small stature. You know what I'm saying? These people, these West African hunter-gatherers, they would have probably been a little shorter than the Niger Congo people, but they weren't always necessarily small stature or extremely small, like the people that their relative, these West African these West African hunter-gatherer relatives who live in more central, Africa. You know what I'm saying? The Patois people, so they are related. The Patois, West Africans, early West African hunter-gatherers, they all would have been related. And these Niger Congo people had contact with these people and they would incorporate it into their own culture. That's why today we don't know the language that the Patois spoke, the original language. They speak Niger Congo language now, or Bantu languages, because they incorporated or they totally got overlapped and adopted, adopted these incoming people's languages. And they say one of the earlier peoples, and they say one of the earlier peoples, the Ija, did survive as a distinct society in the coastal delta of the Niger Congo River. In the Ija, this was Burna Boy. If y'all familiar with the Afro beats or Afrofusion, the Afrofusion artist Burna Boy, he's half Yoruba and half Ija. His mother is Yoruba, his father is Ija. And they say the Ija were Niger Congo people in the language themselves. In language themselves, and it seems probable that their ancestors moved south sometime before 5000 BCE, following the Niger River into the coast. So these Niger Congo people, they migrated into the tropical region a little earlier than more so probably than the Benique did. These people probably would have been like a sister language to the Benique. And they say in later historical eras, the Ija specialized in fishing because their soil often were not good for agriculture. See, they get complex. The Ponzi for farmable land in the delta may have been the factor that deterred early Benique settlement and allowed the persistence of the Aja culture and the language in that area. The evidence of the early Benique lexicon shows that they brought with them some savanna crops. See, I told you, that's what I was talking about earlier. Notably, black-eyed peas, and apparently with them some savanna. Notably the black-eyed peas, and apparently the African bambara. which is the groundnut. Begna, the scientific name, Begna subterranea, into the new environments. The presence of these secondary crops among Beniquay people well south of their wild inhabitants affirms that these crops were domesticated and indirectly that the Niger-Congo people in the savannah were cultivating them as early as the Beniquay expansions of 5th millennium BCE. The Beniquay settlers in time also brought under cultivation crops indigenous to the higher rainfall zones, including okra and aerial yams, and also began the tending of raffia palms, a tree of the rainforest in the wettest woodland savannas areas. Another rainforest tree crop, the cola nut, which will we get like cola, the flavor cola, Coca-Cola, you know what I'm saying, Pepsi, that's where we get that flavor from. The cola nut became an important trade item during the past 2,000 years. How much, and it's also like cola is a caffeine, it's a nut with caffeine in it. So the raw form, like they used to make it sort of like a coffee drink, you know what I'm saying, in West Africa. Or you eat it like a kind of like a stimulant, energy stimulant. It became an important trade item during the past 2,000 years. How much earlier it may have been cultivated is uncertain. That's for the cola nut. Right here it say, skip some. Okay, it say this. I'm talking about the raffia. This is this jacket right here made from the raffia fiber. That's another crop that was used. Right here say this example from the Ibibio people of southeastern Nigeria reflects one way that the raffia cloth was used also long ago along Niger-Congo societies. The raffia palm, like the oil palm, served as a source of palm wine, but more important, by probably as early as the 4th millennium BCE, as yet unidentified Beniquay communities living in living in West African rainforest belt may have brought into being a new technology of major historical significance over the longer term. They invented a kind of broadloom and began to weave textiles from the raffia fiber. They use like these fibers from the raffia, you know what I'm saying, or the raffia plant. And you use these fibers for fabrics and clothes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Early cloth production probably served local demand, but in later historical eras, raffia cloth became a prime commodity of long distance commerce in West and Central Africa. A number of societies that played major roles in the recent centuries of African history, such as the Yoruba, Igbo, and Akan societies, to which many African American can trace their ancestry. For descendants of the Beniquay settlers of the rainforest belt in the 5th millennium BCE, the Bantu peoples who carried the ideas of Niger-Congo civilization into the equatorial rainforest from the 3rd millennium BCE onward, originated also as an offshoot, what I'm talking about, of an offshoot of the Beniquay. And I'm gonna get off of this. That was kind of like a refresher of who the Beniquay people are, because that was important to know who they are, so we could talk about, you know what I'm saying, the prequel to the Bantu migration. I'm gonna get a little bit into this. It's gonna be this definitely this is a series. This podcast, this particular podcast subject is a series, and we definitely gonna return to some of this. So I'm gonna start it off with a little bit of the you know what I'm saying introduction of the actual subject matter. Because I'm gonna get into this book too during the course of this series. Not all tonight, but the course of this series. It's gonna be a continued subject. Let me see, agriculture invention. Go down to okay, right here, the spread of agriculture to Central Africa. Okay, the spread of agriculture into Central Africa, peoples and crops. Drink my coffee real quick. I'm drinking some of that Colombian coffee out of a mason jar, you know, country. They say from West Africa came a new spread of peoples who practiced West African planting agriculture. We were just talking about them yams and oil palm. The furthest eastern and southern edges of this development reached by 3500 BCE. Remember, I told y'all we started at 5500 BCE with these Beni migrations, and we ended off in 3500 BCE. And I'm beginning this subject at that time, what we were talking about earlier. 3500 BCE into what are today far southeastern Nigeria and adjacent parts of Cameroon. Adjacent means close by. And adjacent parts of Cameroon. Communities from two different groupings of Niger-Congo peoples, the Eastern Beniquay and the Adamawa Ubangians. And these Adamawa Ubangians, you could throw the Gur into. Some people throw the Gur into this group too. You know, the Gutter, the people. What country does the Gur? Look it up. Gur languages, because they introduced a lot of the iron too in that region, in the west, certain areas of West Africa. You know, like West Africans, they mix into different populations, certain ethnic groups, and they bring in their customs and it spreads. But the custom of the custom of iron technology, that happened among the Adamawa Ubangian population. And that's how they introduced it to the Central Sudanians, who are now a Saharian group, you know what I'm saying, along the guess you would say the African human belt that stretches, from West Africa to, certain Sudanic areas to the Great Lakes. So the Ubangians, you know what I'm saying, they came up with that technology, but the Bantus were already spread out, you know what I'm saying, in more southern Africa by the time they came up with came up with their iron technology around 2000 to 1800 BCE. And some Bantus got it from it still being in those that stayed within those Niger Cameroon areas when it spread from those Ubangi and Adamawa regions from the Central African Republic, which is also near Cameroon. And them Gur people, you know what I'm saying? They said they found some of the oldest findings they found of iron work in they found it in Igbo land, but during this time period, it was no Igbo yet. It's in the current, the modern area what they call Igbo land. But in the time period where it's dated, it was no Igbo in that land yet. The Igbo come from the Nook culture. You know what I'm saying? They Beni people too, but they come from the Nook culture. the Gur, or either the some type of Adamawa people were in those regions first. You know what I'm saying, with the iron. And the Gur, yeah, the Gur people, they live in Burkina Faso, South Central Mali, northeastern Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Niger, Benin, yeah. And they have a connection with the Adamawa Ubangi people as well. Let me keep going. See if anybody has some questions or want to, add to the conversation. I'm not gonna, get into this that deep tonight because this is gonna be a continued show. This kind of the beginning. That's why I kind of had to do that little overview to kind of get fresh in y'all memory of where direction I'm going. And it say the communities from the two different groupings of Niger Congo peoples, the Eastern Benikwe and the Adomawa Ubangians, carried the farming frontier into those regions. The reconstructed substance lexicons of these peoples reveals that along with yams and oil palms, they cultivated several other indigenous African domesticates, including black-eyed peas and African groundnuts and the bottle gourd and probably flute pumpkins. They kept goats and guinea fowl. The guinea fowl is like a chicken, you know what I'm saying? And the goats, they already kept goats. They adopted goats from, they adopted goats from like North Africa and probably some of the Nilo-Saharan people who already adopted it from, you know what I'm saying, the Sudanic people a long time ago. You know, some Cushitic groups, you know what I'm saying, second hand or whatever. But even before then, Niger Congo people was dealing with Barbary goats, which were wild variety goats. They tamed them. Remember, tamed is not domesticated. Tamed is still a little wild, but they tamed Barbary goats. You know, and I talk about that a lot when I talk about the prehistoric history of West Africa. And they tamed guinea fowl. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily fully domesticated, but they tamed them. They kept them. You know what I'm saying? And they say, they fished and also hunted and gathered wild foods to round out their substances. By this time, the Eastern Benikwe groups had some knowledge of cows as well, although it is unlikely that they kept these animals in any significant numbers. You know, because they would have known about the cows because other groups or other Niger Congo groups would have adopted, cattle culture, from other people, from the central and green Sahara region, probably from the Nilo-Saharians, probably some from the Berbers, the more northern Niger Congo populations would have had, overlapping culture with other cultures who dealt with the cows. So they would have had some of the cows too because of competition, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You compete with your neighbors. So they had to have cows too and adopted, fall in line with that particular culture, even though they still was a part of Niger Congo culture. But I'm talking about like the more northern Niger Congo people. So the Beni Quay people would have had knowledge of the cow, but they just probably wouldn't have dealt with them themselves to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Some of them probably did, but not like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like some Bantus, doing the Bantu expansion, some of them still dealt with cows or kept cows in areas where it was possible, but still had to deal with the tsetse fly. But some of them made it through with some cows. But I don't think they. But I think what happened really happened was, I'm tripping. What happened was the Bantu when they first migrated, they didn't have the cows. They had like probably some goats, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Not like that, but they had cows because you had the Tootsie Fly. But by the time the Bantu, because I just forgot because I remember studying the DNA of the cows. By the time they got to the lake region, so the lake region, they would, start keeping cows themselves, because they're neighbors and people that they're dealing with is, Southern Kushites, and they're dealing with Central Sudanic people and Nilotic people. They would adopt the cows from there because, the Zulu And some of the South African Bantu, they are cattle herders, even in the Himba people. They Bantu, but they deal with cows. And they say by this time, Eastern Beniquay groups the cow. Say we dealt with the cow, and it said although it's unlikely that they kept these animals in any significant numbers, the some what it would have were not like a huge number of. They say Bantu peoples. It's another subject, subject going into. They say Bantu peoples in the far northwestern equatorial rainforest, the most southerly and eastern Beniquay communities settled in these in areas where rainforest predominated over woodland savanna. Situated in the region of the Sangha and the Nyang rivers in modern day southern Cameroon by 300 BCE. I said 300 by 3000 BCE. These southern communities formed a distinct society, which we call the Proto-Bantu. Now, hold on now. Now, what I just did, I just killed any argument of anybody saying that the Egyptians spoke a Bantu language or anything having to do with some type of Bantu language. Because 3000 BCE, this is when Norma did his thing. This is the year that Norma did his thing. During this same time, the Bantus are doing their own thing in Western Africa. You know what I'm saying? They're in Cameroon. We're doing our own thing. Had nothing to do with no Egypt. We didn't even know Bantus, in Sudan. You had Ubangian people that came in through parts of Sudan. Like the Zandi and people like that. That's much later, much more recent. But you know what I'm saying? Doing that, the Iron Age eras and shit like that, on up to more current regions. But other than that, Bantus, even the most northern Bantus are really is Somali Bantu, which is the most northern Bantu. Or probably some of the ones in Uganda, saying some areas like that, or South, at Central African Republic, and they say they live, and they say, saying by 3000, by 3000 BCE, these southern communities formed a distinct society which we call the Proto-Bantu. Like their Beniquay relatives to the west in southern Nigeria and further north in Cameroon, the Proto-Bantu were Neolithic people who used stone axes to clear back small areas of woodland or forests for their crops. And they say, like their Beniquay relatives to the west in southern Nigeria, and further north to in Cameroon, because they talking about their relative, the other Beniquay relatives. Remember, I told the Proto-Bantu come from the Eastern Beniquay grouping. And they got this many branches out of that. You know what I'm saying? But they're one of the branches of the Eastern Beniquay. But Beniquay as a whole we got Western Beniquay, which is like the Yoruba people, Igbo, people in southern Nigeria, Idoi, you know what I'm saying? Some other groups. And they say, like their Beniquay relative to the west in southern Nigeria, further north in Cameroon, the Proto-Bantu were a Neolithic people. They all were Neolithic. Were a Neolithic people who used stone axes to clear back small areas of woodland forests for their crops. Similarly, they were boat builders and sculptors in wood, and they lived in villages and built houses with rectangular floor plans and gable roofs of sewn palm thatch. They carved masks to be worn at public festivals and dances. And although they believed in the remote creator god, Star Inyambe, which is an example. It goes, of course, we know Inyambe is a Khan. That's what they put that star right here. That's the Khan supreme deity, but that's an example to all Niger Congo culture. They had a similar type of concept all throughout, Niger Congo culture, unless they had, adopted something from some other culture sometimes. But that same base, system, was theirs, was that type of system. Where they had the omnious, what they call the omnious universal figure to represent all their deities or whatever, or all their ancestral deities. And say in Yambe, in nature too, nature aspects. And say in Yambe, they normally directed their prayers to their ancestors and to local territorial spirits. Each village belonged to a particular matrilineage, although other people allied with a related, allied with or related by marriage to the villagers, would reside there also. As the center village affairs stood the Mokumo. Let me talk about that in an earlier article too, where I talked about Niger Congo societies. The Mokumo, the Bantu version of the more ancient Benikwe office of the Okumo. Let's say the Mokumo is the Bantu version of the. Remember we talking about earlier the Okumo, whose tasks included presiding over community rituals and probably also acting as the mediator of village meetings and community decisions making, and also the spokesperson of the community dealings with other villages. It's kind of like this figure probably be like a chief, or a priestly divine chief or something like that. The people the people in such village saw themselves as a part of a mutual recognized wider grouping of many villages, in which they applied the term Longo. This word derives from the Proto-Bantu verb long, meaning to join by time. The metaphor encoded in the word shows that even though the earliest Bantu people based their rights in local village communities on kinship, they saw their wider society of ethnicity as a joining together of separate kin groups as something mutually enter into rather than imposed by birth. The Bantu of the late 4th millennium BCE, with their Neolithic tools and economy, by no means had southern Cameroon all to themselves. They had settled in a country already inhibited by forest-based gathering hunting peoples of the ancient Batwa cultural tradition. These little people of the forest, these people that are mistakenly called pygmies. Often called by the unacceptable misnomer pygmies, like I just said. But the early Bantu, because even pygmy itself, even even the term Batwa is a Bantu term for the pygmy. Remember, we said like we don't know what language they spoke, or you know what I'm saying. You find certain words in that language that's like a mystery. Like it got to be from their old original language, but no full, you know what I'm saying, grammar and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying. Even they call it said the Batwa. You know what I'm saying. People that in the Bantu they ain't just called the people, but they get called but the Quad the Forest, little people, or the Central African hunter gatherers or the West African hunter gatherers. They also call the Khoisan Batwa, like the Zulu called the Khoisan Batwa, because they people that don't practice agriculture. Well, the Khoi practice pastoralism, but they learned that from the Southern Kushites. But yeah, but the San people they didn't, you know, the Zulu called them the Khoi. I'm sorry, the Zulu called them the Batwa. They say, but the early Bantu appear to have been selective in their use of environment. Rather than directly challenge the forest, they first sought out open areas along the streams and also areas of savanna within the forest where the types of soil did not favor heavy tree growth. Only gradually in the later centuries did they clear new areas. As a result, vast reaches of rainforest remain valuable down to relatively recent times to support the older ways of life by the Benique. From the beginning of their encounter, the Bantu there we go. Okay, from the beginning of their encounter, the Bantu and the Batwa enter into trade relations. The archaeology of the earliest stages of this encounter in the third millennium, reveals that the Batwa acquired pottery and polished stone axes through trade with their Bantu neighbors and used these axes alongside stone tools of their own making. From the Batwa, the Bantu gained new knowledge of the rainforest environment and obtained forest products such as honey and the meat and the skins of wild game. The Benique may have been the inventors of a particular African kind of crossbow, the arbalete, a lasting importance in the economy of forest hunting. Let's say early southern movements of Bantu peoples, 3,500 to 2000 BCE. And I think that's where we're gonna end it right there. We're gonna continue. So I want to be all night. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna end it right there. We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue it right there. Where I say early southern Bantu movements of Bantu peoples, 3,500 to 2000 BCE. This is kind of you know what I'm saying, a prequel anyway. Now we're going to get into the expansions. I had to take some photos out this book, some map photos out this book, so I can show y'all, give y'all a viewpoint what I'm talking about. This book, let me show you. Book got some good maps in here, man. It break down expansions within phases. Phase one. There we go. See, where it say phases of the Bantu expansion. You got like different maps. You got different maps of the different phases. There's five different major phases of the migration. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm gonna have to take some photos of these books or find some online versions of it so I can share it with y'all. Let me see something, man. Let me drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link in the Discord first. Pseudo Killers Discord. I'm gonna drop the link in there first. Pseudo Killer did a good show earlier today too. Right on for that. That was a good show. They were talking about belief systems and science and belief and things of that nature. That was a good build. Let's see, link in the Discord. We're gonna put it in the chat. Look, I'm gonna put it in the chat because I ain't gonna be here that long. We're gonna put it in the chat. Put the link in the chat. Quick. My cash app. I'm gonna put my cash app in here too, man. Just in case y'all, you know what I'm saying? If y'all like what y'all hear, want to hear more stuff, support your boy, man. I'm coming up with this fire information, yo. Like it's hard, you know what I'm saying? I do this for fun. I do this, in my spare time, you know what I'm saying, studying. Make sure you got the right information, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Support your boy channel. Support the channel, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all free to, you know what I'm saying? The floor is open. Not I'm going to call it a night. Got it in. Chat. I'm just looking at the chat. Something about, man. Yep. That's how the cocoa leaf ate in Peru. Or, yep. I'm talking about the cola nut. Oh, yeah, it is Ramadan. Yeah, I don't know if it's Ramadan. Yeah, all the brothers at work, they practice Ramadan right now. My Algerian homies, they practice Ramadan, and then my Pakistani homies, they practice Ramadan. But people I work with, and eat or drink during the day. You good, bro? You good? I'm chilling, man. I'm probably gonna call it a night anyway, man. Night is young. I'm finna chill. Probably study a little bit. If I go to bed, you hear me? So I can build, you know what I'm saying, make this Bantu expansion series a good one. Might even try to I'm gonna do a slide, try to do a slideshow, put it together. That's probably what I do. Put the format, put the maps in a like a like a slideshow format. That's probably what I do with the maps. What's good with it, bro? Grocery, medicine, say there or con, con, contaminate. What are you talking about? They contaminate? Crazy. What's good with it, bro? You on mute? Do I got you on mute or you got yourself?
No, I got myself on mute, bro.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure. I ain't know my sound was tripping early. I couldn't even. I was talking, but nobody could hear me.
No, on my computer I got a lot of stuff and I'm pretty tired because of long day and fasting and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Um, one thing I want to say is first things first. Gala,
yeah,
you are my brother and you are my teacher. So I'm gonna say this to you. Thank you.
yeah. No problem,
Um,
bro.
I got a lot of stuff open right now on my computer. I don't know why, because my wife's been playing with it. And I'm tired as hell because I've been up for like over 24 hours or whatever the hell it is, and I haven't been eating properly.
Yeah,
Um, the pseudo killers, they are awesome, and I learned from them a lot. Today they were coming from a atheistic point of view,
yeah.
and what the hell does my wife have open, bro? Okay. I'm sorry. It's like I come to a computer and I gotta play with it because the thing is I want to make sure that she knows that I am inclusive and that I'm open, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
She can play with my stuff. Um, Gala, first things first. I'm tired and I've been over for 24 hours and I see you as my teacher. So if you ever tell me to Sonic step back, please say that because I
yeah,
will step back because I learn from you and you're my teacher, one of my teachers in life. Um, the pseudo killers. When it comes to God, I'm gonna let you know, Gala, I am a Muslim from East Africa. And another thing is I am from the philosophy of the Islamic point of view.
yeah,
One of the people I follow is Muhammad Hijab, and he is from the philosophy of science. And I haven't met anyone online that can compete with him yet.
oh yeah,
Pseudo killers are elementary school people that are atheists that want to challenge the religious people without having the education.
yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with tradition. Everybody got tradition. That's why I told him. Like even Sister Tiffany agreed with me. Ain't nothing wrong with tradition, man. That's how humans. That's how humans cope with the struggles of life, man. Like stress, life is stressful. So you need some things, even with meditation, whatever. That's shit. Like you doing that fast and all that shit, that give it gives you meditation or whatever, or it makes you feel better or whatever. Like what the Buddhists call nirvana. You know what I'm saying? It makes you complete, feel complete. So that's all it's about. Life is all about feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
certain things make you feel certain things make you feel good or fulfilling as a human being. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause dealing with this stressful life or stressful path that we living through. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. The thing is, I come from Muhammad Hijab point of view because he goes from the philosophy of science point of view,
Yeah,
infinite regression. And I want you to pay attention to this for 1 second, okay? You don't have to agree with the religious people But once you start to think that you are the objective truth, you fall into a trap of being a believer that wants to disprove other people.
Oh yeah.
You can be atheist. I have no problem with that. But once you think that you are the objective truth, what I'm going to say to you is this: the infinite regression point of view, the cosmology of, bro. The thing is, I don't want to get into this because the thing is, you teach, and I want to say this: infinite regression exists, and the world, the way we see it, is a subjective point of view. You can have your view, just don't push it on other people.
Yeah, yeah, push it on others. That's how I feel. Like, yeah, like even in West Africa, you had various different various different types of religions living amongst each other, and nobody try to push it on each other. You know what I'm saying? Even when Islam first came to West Africa, it didn't come as a forceful force. You know what I'm saying? A lot of early West Africans were Sufis first. You know what I'm saying? It's not until actually until the West Africans or some West African groups became more pious or religious themselves. That's when they started pushing it on other people. But it was the Africans, indigenous Africans themselves that was like convertees or whatever who felt that they probably learned something, read something, and felt that other groups wasn't as halal as the other groups was. You know what I'm saying? So they did these jihads like the Fulani people and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You are 100% correct.
Yeah,
When I have the discussion with the Gangozi, he's trying to be so politically correct, even though he's more intelligent than I am when it comes to the science point of view.
yeah. Like me,
He
I'm scientific. I'm scientific as hell, but like, uh, I look at because I'm a science, because I fuck with science. I look, spirituality to me is chemistry, really, because it's all based on emotions. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that emotions is chemical, but it's based off chemical reaction that's in your brain. You know what I'm saying? It's all like emotions and pheromones, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the real spirituality. You know what I'm saying? The quantum shit that we can't see that's affecting our you know what I'm saying, our world. You know what I'm saying? Like when people have a connection or even in love, you know what I'm saying, with somebody, that's a chemical reaction.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
Yalla, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Um, but what I'm coming from is this. Um, some people want to go to the point that they want to be absolute.
Yeah,
As a, I'm going to be real with you. And the thing is, you know this about me already. As a Somali who's East African, I am Muslim, right?
yeah,
I believe in God. However, when it comes to Americans who don't believe in God, like Ankh, I want to shake his hand because he's my brother. But I don't, and other people, you know what I mean? I don't want to say that you are wrong. I want to say that I want to learn from you. However, when it comes to science, science does not go into the disproving and proving God, because that's not the real that is in. When we talk about God, it goes into the philosophy of science. That's a different level.
oh yeah,
And if you want to have that conversation, it's more of a deeper conversation and a headache. And as you go into deeper dive into it, God will not exist or exist because you can't prove it or disprove it.
mm-hmm,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So therefore, I'm not trying to have that conversation with you because the thing is, God cannot be proven or disproven. Yo, Sarah, your name alone tells me that you are pseudo, my brother. Because depending on where you're from, the fact that you use the name Sarah Ra means that you are
oh yeah,
trying to attach yourself to.
he's pseudo as hell. He ain't even Sarah, you pseudo as hell because you using an Egyptian name, boy. You ain't even
Eh,
represent West and Central Africa. Like I fuck
exactly,
with
bro.
science. I fuck with science, but I'ma still rep my traditional culture. Like
No,
I represent Niger Congo culture. That's why I got these Orisha beads on and motherfucking Aida voodoo necklace on, boy. What you talking
no,
about?
no,
I'm
no,
Niger Congo to the fullest
no.
Creole.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I still bang for science. For real. I just rock with my and I love my tradition because that's history. That's how that I won't even know about my culture if they ain't leave behind their traditions and religions and shit they believed in the past. You gotta study that shit to even be an anthropologist. You gotta put yourself in the frame of the people in the past. Like, what are you talking about?
You tell him, Gala. Gala, I'm gonna be honest with you. As I come into the YouTube conscious community, because I'm from a gaming point of view, and at the same time, I'm from an East African point of view, I am educated, but I'm never gonna share how much because people don't give a fuck about that shit. They want to fight it.
Yeah,
Um,
what you mean how
there's
Juju get a ring? She a pseudo killer, and I'm a pseudo killer. I'm talking to the chat.
there's three people that got my attention that when they tell me something, I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna shut the hell up. Gala,
Yeah,
please pay attention to this. You, Gala, will make me sit the F back and listen. And Gozi will make me sit the F back and listen. Juju will make me sit the F back and listen.
yeah,
Everyone else, no disrespect to you, but as a person who's been up for over 24 hours, I have more education, more interest in reading that I can challenge you, and I don't give a F.
yeah. And even like when you say you believe in God, I won't even say you believe in God. You believe in Allah, because Allah and God ain't even the same deity.
They're
God,
not this.
God is some Germanic, Odin, Northern shit. You know? What I'm
Yeah, you're right. God, correct me. God means God is that God means good. It's
Yeah,
not even the level of Allah. Allah means the deity. Al Ilah.
yeah. It's the same as Allah. Allah really is the southern. Historically, speaking historically and for etymology, is really the southern Semitic version of El. You know what I'm saying? It's the
No,
same, it has the same cognitive what I'm saying, origins. Like El, Eli, Eli, you know what I'm saying? All that shit come from the same cognitive, it became different in the southern Semitic languages, because you know how dialect changed, like tomato,
no,
tomato type situation.
no, bro, Gala, I agree with you. But the thing is, Allah is an abbreviation of Al Ilah. And
Oh yeah,
for example, you understand when I say this, but Americans will never get this. A lot of Americans become like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Unc is one of my people that I see as my older brother that I listen to,
yeah.
but he doesn't understand Al Ilah. Do you know what I mean? So
What's
as an East African, when I say Ilahi, he will never get and understand that. When I say Ilah, he'll never understand that.
yeah,
The Afro-Asiatic point of view of differentiating God and Ilah. Banu, you are American. You're not even in the conversation anymore. Like I'm not being disrespectful to you, but you're not in the conversation anymore. I come from the Afro-Asiatic point of view that understands that ancient wise we have like linguistic point of view that you will never get, but your ancestors in the continent today will get.
hmm
Like like Gala, I don't know how to say this to you. There's things that I say sometimes that you teach me about. But at the end of the day, as an East African, when I say Ilahi, it means my Allah. But that is Afro-Asiatic, my Allah point of view that
yeah,
Westerners will not understand. And people like Banoob, who is supposedly from a Kemetic point of view, Egyptian point of view, don't understand. I'm
yeah.
gonna
Even the Abrahamic religions, the concepts that the religion like Abrahamic religions have, the concepts of those religions come from the original Afro-Asiatic traditions anyway. Like if you really study the traditions of Wag, it's like the original Somali deity, it's similar to Abrahamic religious principles any damn way.
Well, I don't want to say, girl, I truly appreciate you.
Yeah.
Dr. Benube, what I want to say to you is this. Sometimes when I fight in chat and certain things, what I'm trying to do is use my people who are considered black in East Africa to justify your people in North Africa so that they're not taken out of Africa. And you fight me. And I'm thinking, well, I'm using my people to justify your people. Why do you have a problem with that shit? Do you know what I mean? Like,
They do, but he keeps saying they don't identify. They do have tribes, bro. You don't have a nation without a tribe. You don't have states without a tribe, bro. Like he crazy. Like those tribes created states. Just because we don't know the names of them, ain't them pre-dynastic tribes. They were tribes. You know what I'm
no,
saying? Egypt was tribal, so get out of here, bro. Matter of fact, I'm gonna you banned, bro. I'm
bro,
tired of
they,
it.
no, they were freaking tribal.
He
Why do you
banned,
have,
bro. He
why do you have
banned.
the why do you have the South unified in the North?
I'm gonna ban him from on my channel, bro. I'm tired of him, bro.
Girl, you don't need to ban him because the thing is, it shows it shows the divide in the continent that led to us being colonized, bro. And I'm from a country that allows us to be divided and colonized.
No, I'm
Girl,
banning him, bro, because he don't want to be. It's only human. Only humans allowed in here, bro. Humans are tribal. I don't give a damn. What are you talking about?
Gala, what I'm gonna say to you is this. That
Misinformation. You got reported for misinformation. Boy, you out of here.
no, Dr. Banu shows the reason why we are conquered and divided in Africa, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. I can disagree with him 100%, but at the same time, I don't want to ban him because I want to show why we are divided today so that we can correct that. He is American born, American raised. And I want to say this to him. As an East African born, I try to back you by using my people and you still fight me. So how do you think an American black person is gonna see you? As a fucking traitor. Excuse my language. Like, who do you think you are? Disrespecting people of color who back you in the fucking continent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Gala, am I wrong for this?
Yeah, he wild.
Like,
Yeah.
Gala, the genetics part, I'm learning a lot from Ngozi and reading by myself, okay? Please let me know if I'm wrong. Most Egyptians are A1B1B, EV12.
Mm-hmm.
As a Somali, I'm E1B1B, EV32. My 32 is an offshoot of that EV12. So if I'm using my EV32 to justify that
Look,
EV12 is African, why does he disagree with me for trying to back him
look,
up as being a freaking African?
look what they say. Early tribal people. Look, Wikipedia. Early tribal peoples migrated to the Nile River where they developed and settled agricultural economy and more centralized society. By by about 6,000 BCE, a Neolithic culture had taken to root in the Nile Valley during the Neolithic era. Several pre-dynastic cultures developed independently in Upper and Lower Egypt. And then remember, these pre-dynastic or pre-pharaonic chieftains, they were chieftains, fucking chief-run tribes, motherfucker. What you talking about?
What does Gala? What does chief word tribes mean? Does that mean different chiefs, different
Yeah.
groups?
What you think of chief? When you think of a Native Americans, they got a chief. They're a tribe. What you talking about, dude?
Exactly. Yo, but noob, you are okay. I'm not gonna say you. Your people and my people are the reason that we are being divided in the freaking Africa by white people who are the minority, conquered, stolen our resources to this fucking date. I have recognized this because I grew up in Western Canada and I realized who my people are and how to learn from them and be on their side, even if my people in the continent today are
You did
lost.
have Chiefs, boy. What
Why
you
aren't you?
saying? This dude, hold on, man. This dude, he's stupid, bro. He a fucking idiot. You don't even read. You don't study enough, bro. He crazy.
Yo, Gala, can I add something else, bro? Because the thing is, um, as my American brothers, one thing I want to correct is this. Dash rap. You say most Bantu are a mix of East and West African. I'm gonna tell you this as an East African. The Kenyans have a little bit of East African mix. However, most Bantus are from West African stock.
Yeah,
You
from
are
West
not
Africa.
mixed with us because we wouldn't allow you to be. You have your own history and ancestry. And before that, or during that time, the people that they got taken in the slave trade, you are not mixed with East Africans. However, about 40, 30, 20,000 years ago, you are split from the E1B1A to the E1B1B. As a black
Mm-hmm.
folk, you are my brother. However,
Mm-hmm.
we are not the same people today. So therefore, recognize this. We are dark skinned family. However, we're not the same population group.
Yeah, they don't mean that. This is like the people of East Asia. They go from very light when they go up north, and then when they get to Southeast Asia, they're them same East Asian. I don't want to call them Mongoloid, but they categorize them as Mongoloid. They're the same people. They're just darker in them regions, and they
No,
mix. They mix. They got a different. No, they mix with a little bit something else.
no, Gala, I agree with you, but can we talk you and I for a sec?
So when I
Okay, the E1B1A from West Africa and the E1B1B from East Africa. For
yeah.
example, I am E1B1B EV32. I am an offshoot of that North um Levant Egyptian EV12,
Oh
right?
yeah, so yours, your E is a back migrated E.
Exactly. So I'm closer to them than I am to the E1B1A West Africa.
Yeah,
So the people that got taken in West Africa who are E1B1A then intermixed with the European and the native community from the Americas. We're not the same population group. However, we are family in the dark skin level.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah,
So if I look at you, even though we're not genetically close, color wise, we are family because we recognize, like, you know what I mean? As an
yeah,
East African, when I look at you and I see the dark skin, I'm dark skin, I'm like, what up, my nigga?
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
say this to you.
because of how the political world put us in categories and shit,
No,
put us together.
exactly. Another thing I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this one time. Please listen carefully. What up, my nigga? I don't have a right to say that because I wasn't abused by the Western white world in that word nigga. It
Yeah,
was used against Americans. I never had to experience that. So therefore, when I say that word, I don't have a right to it. I should say, what up, my black brother? I should never use the N word because
oh,
it's
yeah,
very disrespectful because you used to
yeah.
belittle you
It,
West
it became a
Africans
trigger
who
word.
got taken.
It, they turned to a trigger word because really it just mean black too, but just they turned that particular word or phrase into a trigger word. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That Negro word, that word wasn't used against my people, but it was used against my Western Central African people who got taken into slavery, who built the Americas. So therefore, I don't have a right to use that word against you because it's disrespectful. So what
Mm-hmm.
I can say is, without my black brother,
Mm-hmm.
while being a black person, at the same time, the first people that were used as black were the Sudanese people. I'm not them. I'm East African. I'm not Sudanese. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, I still don't have a right to use that word as an East African. Gala, am I wrong for this, bro?
Are you good? I mean, that's how you feel. I mean, shoot. Yeah. I mean, I really don't care for real. I mean, I know East Africans. I got Eritrean homies that like they from St. Louis. Like they've been raised. They parents from St. Louis, but they've been raised in like in St. Louis hood. They say nigga, you know, shit, I don't care.
No, but the thing is,
You know what I'm saying?
if another group came in to disrespect you and use that word against you, but they didn't use it against my people or
Oh,
weren't
yeah,
able
yeah,
to,
yeah. They use it in a certain way. Yeah, I'll be offended. Yeah, yeah. They on some other shit.
I
Yeah, yeah.
shouldn't promote that. I don't have a right to that. They never used it against me. So as my brother, I shouldn't promote that. I can say, "What up, my black brother?" because I am black as well.
Mm-hmm.
And East Africans, Ethiopia, Somalia don't use black. I'm being real with you guys.
Yeah,
I
they
grew
don't.
up I grew up in the West, Gala, and I got influenced by the Western world, and I'm so thankful that I was able to learn and grow from the Western world that I want to be your brothers. So then I become the under the umbrella of black people.
Mm.
That's my people. But I can't say the N-word to you guys because I don't have a right. That's it.
Man, he lucky I can't find it. On source. Talk about the chief can't meet you. That dude, yeah, he crazy. I'm tired of Dr. Banu.
You can be tied to Dr. Manoob, but you know what makes it worse? Dr. Manoob is an outsider trying to insult us. It's the within people. For me, what upsets me more is this a Somali that doesn't get it than somebody else who doesn't get it. The Somali people, I want to fight them. The other people, I just shake my head. Pure black.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
I
this
don't
to you.
even know if he's Egyptian. I don't think he's Egyptian for real. I think he's Arab trying to play like he's Egyptian.
He is an Arab, bro. He's not even Arab. He's like a Mexican. Pure black. East
Oh,
Africans were not called nigger. I'm being real with you. Like the N word was used for African Americans who were stolen during the slave trade.
yeah.
As an East African, I'm trying to unite with you. You
Mm-hmm.
want to disrespect East Africans to divide us by saying what you say.
They call y'all they call Somalians Bora Bora. Like the Berber. They call y'all Berbers.
The cause Berbers. Yo, Gala, you're right. Can I share something with you, bro?
It's
You
a it's a
understand
it's
this?
a it's a it's a it's a city in Somalia called Bora Bora because of
There you go. We call it Berbera.
yeah.
We have the first country named Berbera. Like, do y'all not freaking understand this? We have a country called Berbera. We don't
Yeah.
have Berbera. Like, I'm pronouncing it with an accent with you guys on purpose. Berbera. No
Yeah.
other country in Africa has this.
And they call y'all the Macrobians and shit.
The Macrobians?
Huh?
We are the Macrobians,
Yeah,
bro.
the Macrobians, yeah, like the Greeks, that's the Greeks gods.
God, like, you understand this shit. But African Americans need to see this. What I'm trying to say this to you, genetically, we are closer to North Africans, even though we are dark skinned. You use us to disqualify Egyptians when I'm telling you, as a East African, you can't do that. Egyptians,
Mhm.
modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians. We are not them. Jabari, I'm sorry. You are wrong. Don't disrespect my country. We don't give a fuck about pyramids and other buildings, other fucking whatever. I'd rather be connected to African Americans than be connected to ancient Egyptians. Like, I don't know what to tell you this. Gala is greater to me than anyone who built the fucking pyramids.
For real,
Period.
for real, because even the Kushites is a much more basal Afro-Asiatic group anyway.
No, exactly. But the thing is, as a person who has the proto-Nilotic DNA,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be connected to African Americans who are the greatest black people in the continent outside the continent in history than any Egyptian will ever be. Like, who do you think you are? Like, why do you want to connect to freaking ancient Egypt? Let them have their pyramids, bro. I don't give a F about that shit.
Yeah,
African
for real.
Americans who fought colonialism, white people, Europeans, freaking anyone else are greater than what you trying to be. Forget Egypt. It's not that great.
Nah, it's
Period.
overrated. It's overrated, man. It's cool, but it's overrated, man.
No, it is. Gala, I'm gonna say this to you. Intellectually, when it comes to certain things, your information, the way you carry yourself, your personality means greater to me than anything I read about ancient Egypt.
Right on. Appreciate you, bro. You too, bro.
No,
Appreciate you.
and one thing I'm gonna say this year, you have an amazing stream beyond anyone else. You and I'm gonna say this without saying any name. What's the brother's name from um he's the Nilotic brother that
Oh, you talking about BR?
thank you.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I rock with BR. I love them conversations, man. There be some good conversations even in his Discord. Like we be in our building. You know what I'm saying?
you two destroy all the conscious community YouTube channels.
Oh yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, I got Dr. Blue. Hold on, I found my source. I've been fishing. I've been fishing on him. Hold on, fine.
I see you do that. I'm gonna say this to you. Um,
Yeah.
Astro 87. The only time that we ever chatted on a stream voice wise, I'm sorry for saying this if I'm wrong because I've been up for over 25 hours, my brother, and I'm tired. I've been fasting and I'm tired. Um, I try to show love to you, and then Reggie used that to disrespect me on his own stream, and then you use that to disrespect me on other people's stream. But I try to show love to you, and then you disrespected me. My Muslim brother, I'm gonna say this to you. We agree on a lot of things. Dr. Banoob is an American. He can be Egyptian, but he's an American for the most part. But we have to be objective when it comes to certain things. So you gotta be more objective, my brother, and don't alienate your brothers from the freaking continent because you are from the Levant area. Egypt is in Africa.
Yeah,
You,
look,
that's it.
watch this, bro. Hold on. I'm getting to check. Man, he do this to me every time, bro. I don't wanna be tripping on no funky ass Egypt. No disrespect, no disrespect to my Egypt. I'm just speaking to them. I
No,
like Egypt for what it is, but still, man, he always every time, bro. I don't even be tripping on no Egypt. He bring that shit up. I'm talking about Bantu, Niger Khan. We trying to bring the lighter back on that. You not try to fight. I gotta fight you now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
no,
even trying to talk about no. I'm talking about Bantu expansion. You just a hater. You don't got no swag. You don't got no swag like those Niger Congo people in Somalians do, boy.
no, I agree with you, bro.
Probably wear
I
suspenders. You probably wear suspenders or some shit.
no, I agree with you. Astro, you follow genetics, right? EV12 is Egypt. EV32 is an offshoot that's in East Africa, Somali. Are you closer to the EV12, bro? Like, I'm being real with you right now. You are not closer to Egypt than I am. So why do you disrespect us, dark skinned
You ain't no
people?
mother of all nations. Get out of here. And they say, look, it say after no, I mean, I'm start right there. Let me go right here. It say population growth led to competition for farm and land and the need to relegate farming. Relegation was established by a formation of bureaucracies among sacral chieftains. Chieftains. And guess what? The sacral part, y'all got from Nilo-Saharans. So y'all already swagger jacket. Get out of here, boy. You got the sacral chieftain shit from niggas like my homie Bayor. So you ain't even original. You got it from other tribes. Among sacral chieftains, the first and most powerful of these chieftains was Taseti. So Taseti was a chieftain. Which a chieftain is it was tribal. These niggas were tribal. Founded around 3500 BCE, the idea of the sacred chieftain spread throughout Upper and Lower Egypt. Where does this come from? Eric, 2022. So what is this dude saying, man? Like, why do you think even the reason why Egypt is polytheistic is because originally they started to mix. Hold on. I ain't even share my screen there. Thought I shared the screen. I'm just reading. Hold on. I'm just reading. Hold on. I'll share the screen. Here we go. Here we go. You can see that. It's a population growth led to competition for farmland and the need relegate farming. Relegation was established by formation of bureaucracies among sacred chieftains. The first and most powerful of the chieftains was Taseti, founded around 3500 BCE. The idea of sacred chieftains spread throughout Upper and Lower Egypt. Get out of here with your colloquial ass, boy. I went to school for anthropology. You didn't go to school for this, boy. You went to school for some, I don't know, computer science or some bullshit. Like everybody else do, like all other pseudos.
Yeah, Gala, can you do me another favor?
Yeah.
I shared a link on chat right now. I shared the phylogenetic tree.
Yeah.
EV12 leads to EV32, which is Somalia.
Hold on, will you share it in the chat back?
In the chat right now, okay?
Oh, okay.
Out of Somali, of course, the people we mix with downstream is going to be different. However, eternally, Astro, you want to connect yourself to Egypt, which is in Africa. You're not even in Africa. You are the one of the people who trying to come in and divide us.
For real?
Like, what's up? You are my Muslim brother, but you're not my African brother. We are different.
Yeah, he ain't even claiming it. I don't know what kind of Egyptian. I know real. He ain't no respectable Egyptian. I know respectable Egyptian. He ain't one of. He the scum. You the scum, nigga. You the gum on the bottom of the shoe to Egypt, boy.
Gala, he's trying to take Egypt out of Africa. I shared a link right now in chat. Look at that. And if you can educate me, educate me. If not, let me know that I'm trying to stop this mother lover from trying to take Egypt out of Africa.
Everything you putting on removing, boy. You saying? You don't got no. Why you always come on this channel? Nobody respects you anyway. Here, don't come to somewhere nobody even wants you here, boy.
Right? Yo, Astro. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't know what the guy's stream's name is. Yo, God, what's that guy's stream name that he's always hating on black people. What's his name? He's a black guy. I don't even know. I don't remember his name because I don't follow him.
You talking about Chief X?
Chief X.
Yeah.
Bro, Chief X. Why does this guy attract all the racist guys? Why? Like,
nah, but dude, man, he said he asked if you tip. No, he ain't tipsy, man. He a Muslim. He don't drink, bro. You saying? Somebody asked if you tipsy. I said he just tired. He said he don't drink.
Yo, Astro, we don't claim to be Egyptian. We fight for Egypt to be in Africa. As a Somali, I respect my people. Chief X, the thing is, when Chief X disrespected Yolanda, I said F you because I don't give a F. Because the thing is, African Americans influence the way I think. So then when you disrespect them, F you. I don't give an F. And the Astro comes in following Chief X and trying to kiss his ass and trying to take Egypt out of Africa. Bro, F you too.
And then too, Afro-Asiatic speakers are originally clannish. That's why Somali people are clannish like that. Even the reason why Egypt had so many different deities was polytheistic because they merged a monotheistic divinity system with the Nilo-Saharan system, that sacred kingship, and it merged with the clannish ways of these North Eritrea people. You know what I'm saying? And they had so many different clan deities. If you got different clans are tribes. You know what I'm saying? What is he saying, bro? Like this dude crazy. We got what else? Somali people. They got
No,
them like genetics on here no more. But they had the genetics on here. They took it off.
no, I don't know about this. Here, Black, you are my brother. You can attack me, and I'm gonna sit back and listen. I have no right to respond to you. Pure Black, you have shown me enough respect for me to sit back and learn. The thing is, people who go against dark-skinned people, I'm gonna go against them. Again, guys, I've been up for a long time and I'm pretty tired. I've been
There we go.
fasting, so
There
I
we go.
apologize if I don't sound right. One thing I'm gonna say is this.
Oh,
Astro, we don't give a F about claiming Egypt. Egypt is our brothers. You are out of the continent.
look, here we
When you
go.
come in to disrespect black people.
Look,
F you,
look,
man.
look, uniparental lineage. According to Y chromosome studies by Sanchez, we ain't even supposed to be talking about this today. I'm just gonna beat them up anyway.
Go
The,
ahead.
the Somalis are paternally closely related to other Afro-Asiatic speaking groups in
Boom.
Northeast Africa.
Boom.
Besides comprising the majority of the Y DNA in Somali, E1B1B, formerly E3B haplogroup, also makes up a significant proportion of paternal DNA of Ethiopians, Sudanese. Well, the Sudanese they talking about like the northern Sudanese,
Yep.
uh, Egyptians, Berbers, North African Arabs, as well as many Mediterranean populations.
Reread that, bro. These guys are so pseudo that they look at the dark skin of Somalis and they want to exclude them. Bro, reread that. Like, who do you think you are? We are the ones that use to disqualify you, and I'm here to freaking qualify freaking
He's been
Egyptians.
on independent nothing, bro. I'm deleting it, bro. Anything you say, I'm deleting it. You don't have no words here. Your First Amendment right is gone here, Dr. Banud. You don't have no rights over here, boy. You're a second-class citizen on my channel.
Yo, Gala, can I check this out? Astro says that Somalis are closer to Yemen than Egypt. How are we closer to Yemen when that EV-12, which is Egypt, is an off? Okay, EV-32, which is Somalia, is an offshoot of EV-12 from Egypt. Most Somali paternal line is closer to freaking North Africa than it is to Yemen. The Habesha people who came from Yemen are closer to Yemen than us.
Yeah, I put him on timeout for 24 hours. You can't even rap, boy. You ain't got no
Bro,
words over here.
Astro can't even rap on this shit. Bro, I'm from the continent. I'm gonna let you know. We are closer to North Africa than we are to freaking Yemen. Like, we
Yeah,
have no
yeah.
mix with them. We are ancient on this DNA.
He crazy. He don't know the Astro. Shut the fuck. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. You
He
know, close.
doesn't.
Just
But
because
Gala,
it's right there. That's because it's right there. Y'all crazy. Y'all don't understand population movements. Y'all just retarded. Y'all don't even read enough. Y'all be on YouTube. Y'all don't read. You talking
Gala,
about? Y'all be on YouTube all fucking day. You don't read. You talking
Gala,
about?
Gala.
You can't even read and probably can't even read in English with your dumb ass.
Exactly. Gala, I read
Half of
and
these
I'm
Arabian dudes can't even read.
no,
Y'all
exactly.
can't even
Gala.
read in English. You only can read in it bullshit. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you can hit it. Gala, I read and I'm from the freaking region. We are
Yeah,
closer to North Africa than we are to Yemen. The Habash people are closer to Yemen than they are to North Africa. They don't understand the nuances of things.
yeah,
Juju, when I say nuances and I'm speaking to Chef's channel and other people, they attack that. What I'm trying to say is this: your nuances freaking matter. Somalis are closer to North Africa Habasha are close to Yemen. Astro doesn't get it. He's a racist
Yeah.
as my
Look,
brother.
it's a Sanchez 2005 observed that EM78. EM78, that's indigenous to Egypt area. You know what I'm saying? Like pre-Neolithic Egypt though. And it's a subclad of E1B1 B1A in about 70.6 of their Somali male samples. According to Kriani, the presence of the subhaplogroup in Horn Africa region may represent the traces of an ancient migration from Egypt, Libya. And they say after haplogroup E1B1B, the second most frequently occurring among Somalis is West Asian. It's the West Asian haplogroup T. No, we ain't gonna get into all that. I'm talking about some other shit right now.
That's the second one, bro.
It's the second one. And it's a E1, it's a haplogroup T's like E1B1A. It's also typically found among other populations of Northeast Africa, the Maghreb, the Near East, and in Mediterranean. Hold on, get in. What it talking about migrations in Egypt. Oh, here we go. Now here it says, according to mtDNA, Holden Richards 2006, a significant proportion of maternal lineage of Somali consists of M1 haplogroup at a rate of 20%. This mitochondrial clad is common among Ethiopians, North Africans, particularly Egyptians and Nigerians. M1 is believed to have originated in Asia, where its parent M clad present in the majority of mtDNA lineages. Because M1 is from Asia, but M is from Africa. This haplogroup is also thought to possibly correlate with the Afro-Asiatic language family. In addition, Somalis and other Horn African populations also carry a significant rate of paternal L lineage associated with sub-Saharan Africa. Like L3, like y'all carry like L3, which is already the mother of any outside of Africa anyway. Anything outside of Africa, you know what I'm saying? I want to see what's other information. I think I gotta go to the autosomal. Yeah, autosomal DNA. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, autosomal gonna beat them up. It's a research shows that Somalis have a admixture of a type of native African ancestry unique to the autochthonous autochthonous to the Horn of Africa, which is basically the Mata component, as well as an ancestry originating from a non-African back migration, according to autosomal DNA study by Hodges in 2014. The Afro-Asiatic lineage were likely spread across Africa and Near East by an ancestral population carrying a newly identified non-African genetic component, which the researchers dubbed Ethio-Somali, which is a basal Eurasian component. You know what I'm saying? Which is not to be confused with the Amadic component. Is the Ethio-Somali component is a basal Eurasian component. And they say this component today is most common among Afro-Asiatic speaking populations in Horn of Africa, and it reaches a frequency peak among ethnic Somalis representing the majority of their ancestry. The Ethio-Somali component is most closely related to Maghrebi non-African genetic component and is believed to have diverged from all other non-African ancestry at least 23,000 years ago. So this is basal. This is pre-agricultural. These people were hunter-gatherers, or like they were hunter-gatherer grain collectors, wild grain collectors. You say on this basis, the researchers suggest that the original Ethio-Somali carrying populations probably arrived in pre-agricultural period from the Near East, having crossed over into northeastern Africa via Sinai Peninsula. The population then likely split into two branches with then one group heading westward and other towards the McRim and the other moving southward towards the Horn. Ancient DNA analysis indicate that the foundational ancestry of the Horn region is akin to the Neolithic farmers of southern Levant. You know what I'm
Come on,
saying?
stop for a sec.
Yeah.
The thing is, one group went to what area? The west. The other
Yeah.
group went what area? The south.
South. Yeah.
Astro, you're not in this conversation, but you come in here to disrespect black people for the most part. I respect you as my Muslim brother who is from the Levant, but the thing is, you are so disrespectful to African Americans. As an East African, I have to say this to you. Stop. Like, stop. You are showing your racism in you. Like, I'm sorry
Mm-hmm.
to say this, but you're showing your racism in you. I don't care about Egypt. I care about East Africa for the most
What are you
part.
talking about? Some MENA ain't even a real thing. That's a political. That's a political term, boy. What are you talking about? When you talk about agriculture, when you talk about agriculture, the Horn of Africa is part of MENA in that aspect. What are you talking about, boy? You out of here too, boy. You banned too.
Yeah, Astro is stupid as hell. Chief X influences him
You
as a
banned too,
racist,
boy. Out of here,
as a
boy.
racist. Bro, as a racist, Chief X influences him.
Get out
And
of here,
he
boy.
and he doesn't understand as an East African, I'm trying to support my greater black Africans, and he wants to be disrespectful to me as well. The
I
thing
don't know if
is,
I don't know if they ever seen that movie Bronx Tale. It's a movie called Bronx Tale when they were shooting dice. They were shooting dice in the dudes was it kept interrupting the little dude from shooting dice. He made him go to the bathroom, the little bitty ass bathroom. I just made they dumb ass go to the bathroom. Take your dumb ass to the bathroom. Nigga. Go stand in the corner, nigga.
Killer. Share that movie with me on Discord so I can chill back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share a link on Discord right now. Not on the stream right now. Hit that and let me know if I'm wrong. Um, when we say E1B1B EV12 is Egypt. E1B1B EV32 is an offshoot. This is why I fight for modern Egyptians, as they are the ancient Egyptians. As an East African, I don't claim to be Egypt or Kemet. But the thing is,
Mhm.
I fight for them as being the original people so that other people don't ever disrespect them.
Yeah, disrespect them. Yeah,
That's it.
they your kin. They are cousins, relatives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as my cousins, I don't want people disrespecting them and taking them out of the continent, even though they look like Arabs and they're not Arabs.
Yeah, not Arab.
I don't look like an Arab unless it's a Yemenis.
And, truth,
The
and truth
Yemen,
be and truth be told, Arabs, which are Semitic speakers, or is an African implants in Arabia. You know what I'm saying? They speak African language. Their language belong to Afro-Asiatic languages, which is an African language. So somewhat they are African implants
exactly,
in Asia.
exactly. As you say this, I'm gonna say this to you. Sanada has a big platform, and what I'm gonna say that to is this: when he says Arabs and other people, bro, the Arabic language's father comes from Africa, East Africa, as an Afro-Asiatic language. The Afro-Asiatic languages is from East Africa. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, Arab can be a Middle Eastern language, but the parent comes from East Africa. Like, can we be objective and not be freaking subjective and racist and biased for
Mm-hmm.
for a moment, please? Because it doesn't make us look like we are trying to advance. This is why we are getting kicked. This is why our ass is getting kicked on the global scale when it comes to science, when it comes to linguistics, when it comes to history. It's
Mm-hmm.
time that we become objective.
Mm-hmm. For real, man.
Like,
Even where it say, look, where it say, furthermore, according to Hodgson, both African ancestry, Ethiopic, which is the Ethiopic and Nomadic is the same thing. Ethiopic and the non-African ancestry, Ethio-Somali, in the Cushitic speaker population is significantly differentiated from all neighboring African and non-African ancestries today. The overall genetic ancestry of Cushitic and Semitic speaking populations in the Horn of Africa represent ancestries not found outside of the Horn of Africa populations. The research state African Ethiopic ancestry, which is basically the Madic or the Motu ancestry, is tightly restricted to the Horn of Africa populations and likely represent an autochthonous Horn of Africa population. The non-African ancestry in Horn of Africa, which is primarily attributed to a novel Ethio-Somali inferior ancestry component, is significantly differentiated from all neighboring non-African ancestors in North Africa and Levant and Arabia.
I agree with you, Gala. One thing I'm gonna say this, Sarah Ra, when you say Somalis are mostly sub-Saharan Africans, what I'm gonna say is this to you. Of course we are. For the most part, we have been a part of sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, it ain't no such thing as mostly sub-Saharan Africa. That's just a geographic nomenclature area, or whatever. It ain't really a real thing. You know what I'm saying?
No,
It just mean where you at it's where you at on the continent. And plus, even though technically, the Horn of Africa is sub-Saharan Africa, is different. The weather there is different. You can't grow you can grow grain and wheat in the Horn of Africa because it's a cooler climate. You can't grow grain and wheat nowhere else in Africa. Only in those climate areas that's similar to Western Asian climate.
I agree with you. One thing I'm gonna say this, Gala, correct me because the thing is, I do see
No,
you
and they
as my
not,
teacher.
they're not really tropical Africans either. They somewhat tropical, but they moderate. They in between tropical and in between moderate. It's
No,
you know what I'm saying, that area right there.
no,
You know what
exactly,
I'm
Gala. But one thing I'm gonna say this is this: Somalis destroyed the fact that different races exist. As a dark-skinned Somali, if my bones are discovered after I pass away, they're gonna see it as a Caucasoid structure. So therefore, as a dark-skinned person, we destroyed the idea that dark-skinned people from West Africa are different from light-skinned people from outer Africa. How, you know
saying?
why? Because as a dark-skinned person, as an East African, if you discover my bones after I die, I'm gonna have a Caucasoid phenotype morphology. So therefore,
Mm-hmm.
we destroyed the idea of different races. We are the reason to destroy the different races' point of view and
Yeah,
unite humanity.
yeah. This is like if you take a person from just say if you took a person from one of them Polynesian migrations, and then you compare their skull to like a person from somewhere in like central China. If they dead and you took at their bones, you go like, oh, both of these are mongoloid. You know what I'm saying? They have East Asian skull type. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. It's the same.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. You find somebody dead and their bones, you're gonna say
No,
they're Caucasoid. And
it's
then you
not
look
tropical
into it.
Africa, bro. The horn. Hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the Horn of Africa is not really tropical Africa. It's a mountain montane. It's a tropical mountain montane. You know what I'm saying? It's tropical, but it's not like it's different. It ain't like humid. It ain't humid tropical. You know what I'm saying? Like Djibouti had Mediterranean climate at one point in time.
No, exactly. The thing, Gala, all I'm trying to say is this. Um, bias exists on both sides. As an East African who has dark skin, my morphology falls in line with the Caucasoid point of view.
Yeah.
We kill that racism and say that if that Africa is diverse, you can't pin skin tone on morphology anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, F that. And I'm telling you guys, as an East African born, raised in the Western world, my dark skinned African Americans, I'm trying to be your brother. Please understand the diversity and extend the hand to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep. Yep. That's it. That's all, man.
And Gala, you're showing everything else. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I
no
sit back and I
problem,
learn
man.
from you a lot, so thank you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've been up so I've been up for so long that I feel like I'm not even speaking coherently. So thank you for allowing me to speak and be a part of your channel tonight.
Mm-hmm. You heard say it say analysis approximately it say using principal component analysis showed that approximately some 60% of Somali ancestry is East African and 40% is Western Eurasian overall. You know what I'm saying? They trip off the skin color. The skin color ain't shit. It don't mean nothing. They don't make a different. They don't make a person the same or different. You know what I'm saying? Skin color don't mean shit. It's like trying to say, oh, you the same because your skin. Oh, you the same because your veins are blue. Get out of here, man.
Exactly.
You the same people because your eye your eyes are brown. Get out of here, boy. That's the same thing. Skin ain't nothing no different. It's a damn organ. Get out of here, boy.
Jolanda, go to bed. Juju, my sister, I'm gonna be honest with you. All week, all I focus is on work and my family. Um, Sometimes during the weekends, the only time that I can actually do things that I am personally interested in, even though I'm tired and I can't even speak properly. I feel like that I need to do this so that I can feed myself, so that I can push on during the week with work and family, which I love. But I have to also do things that interest me for the most part, even though I'm tired. So I understand that, so thank you.
But I'm finna yeah, man, I'm finna shut it down, man. Dr. Bantu, Astro Boy, whatever y'all name is. Y'all ain't welcome over here, bro. I'm gonna act like a real St. Louis dude for real. You out of here, boy. You banned. We don't allow no goofies over here, no goofy shit. I don't allow that goofy shit, bro. Real.
No.
I don't do it. I can't tolerate goofy. If
The
you a simp, you a lame, you out of here, boy.
the following message is only of my own and not of the stream or Gala or anyone else. I'm gonna say this. Chief X is a self-hating person. He attracts the racist people to support his channel and grow that. I don't give a fuck because I don't have my own channel to grow off racism. When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to things, I support Gala and Gozi and perhaps Unk on their channels. However, I have my own channel, which is gaming. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care about racism.
If
F you.
if you can't hold yourself accordingly, and if I can't feel I can bring you around my people, you ain't welcome on my YouTube channel. If because if I bring Dr. Banu or Astro Boy around my people, they might do something to you, boy, for real.
Exactly.
So if I feel that way about you, you ain't welcome here, bro. Like just for your own safety, for real. It ain't safe around here. You got to stay safe and stay dangerous around here.
I like that a lot. Stay safe and stay dangerous. Gala, I'm safe because I respect you and I see you as one of my teachers. I'm dangerous because I'm from that Somali
Yeah.
coastline. Blah, 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 blah.
Real man. They say Somalians are like the Tupacs of Africa.
Yo, bro, I'm not kidding with you. All eyes on me with straight up Tupac. That's why Tupac's my favorite rapper of all time. Um African Americans are my when certain people like how do I say this? Smash and what the other guy's name? Freaking
Yeah.
Reggie. The way they look at ancient
So
Egypt
here we have folks
is the way
immigrating
I
small
look at
patches of land,
African
and
Americans.
actually not that far from the Arabian
Mm-hmm.
Peninsula.
That's all I have to say. African Americans are my pillars, where Smash and Reggie look at ancient Egypt as their pillars. You're my motivation to grow my community and try to unite. So when I say this, all eyes on me.
Mm-hmm.
It means African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta you have great streams. I apologize I come on when I'm pretty tired because I should have been head to bed like freaking 5 hours ago, especially with my wife's text messages. But the thing is, I appreciate you so much that I cannot miss one of my teachers presenting when I can hit the link.
All right, bro. All right, man. I'm finna call this a night, y'all. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. Been cool. You know, the riff raff, you know what I'm saying, out of here. I'm gonna continue doing this Bantu expansion series. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue with next week. Hopefully nobody don't bring up none of that bullshit because I ain't trying to talk about no Egypt. I don't give a damn.
No,
You
forget
know what I'm saying?
Egypt.
Yeah, I
Gala,
don't give a damn. You can have the damn desert. I don't
I
care.
don't I don't care about Egypt. My best friend is Malawi, and he came to Canada at a later age, and they learned about the Bantu expansion. So I'm trying to reach him and say, look, African Americans understand the Bantu expansion by sharing your information. So when you discuss the Bantu expansion, I'm trying to give it to him to show him that the Western Black people who taught me about this information understand it. So please continue that
Yeah.
discussion so that I can share it with him because the Bantu expansion is it's a big information when it comes to us Black people who are from the continent who came to North America later on.
Mm-hmm.
So please keep sharing that information.
All right, bro.